I'm this close to quitting my podcast.
Why?
I feel like I mean, look at what an asshole. Seriously, who likes that guy? Like, why would you like that guy? Why would you watch on Netflix a special called Speshy Weshy? Would you be like, does this kid have autism? What the fuck?
See, this is what I love about you, man. You know, you're tall, you're handsome, you're built, and your Patreon tiers are Muffin Butts, Bubble Butts, and Closeted Chrissy.
Yes. And then support the Puerto Rican chaos is the last one. And it's not doing well. My Patreon's fallen off a cliff and my podcast has stalled. So I think that's why sometimes I'm motivated to be like, you know what, I can control stand-up.
Yeah.
I still got people coming to see my stand-up, ticket sales, all that, and something that I love. Because I'm wondering, am I just doing the podcast? Am I just doing the podcast now because it sells tickets and because it's a platform that everybody else is doing? Because stand-up I started because I was like, I've always wanted to be a stand-up. Yeah. So it's organic. But this stuff, I'm like, am I doing that? This is like all to support the stand-up. But I'm like, at some point you have to have confidence and be like, I think I've done enough stand-up where my fans are going to be there with me whether I'm doing the pod or not. They're going to come see my stand-up. I hope. That's what Tommy says.
Yeah, I mean, my only argument to that is the algorithm is such a motherfucker that I think we do live and die by it a little bit at this point.
Right.
So I think no. I think you got to keep doing it.
The podcast.
I think you do. Yeah.
But doesn't it feel then like it's almost like a Black Mirror episode, like this? I don't want to say a gilded cage because my cage isn't that gilded, but it does feel like they're forcing you to do things you don't want to do, right?
In a way, yeah. But I would say I think that's the big shift in entertainment. I think the previous generation of entertainment, you got to focus on one thing. Or you got to have focused efforts at points in your career. Right. You know, kind of like what you were talking about before, like all the stages you go through. Like if you landed on a sitcom or if you do radio, it's like that's your thing. But because there's a bazillion platforms, there's a bazillion types of media, you kind of have to be firing on all cylinders in all places. Right. To just
stay afloat.
Yeah. And now we're in a weird thing where I think we're all, regardless of if you're a comedian or you make fucking makeup tutorials or whatever, I think we're all perpetually in this place where we're all having to fight for the
space.
To remind people like, oh yeah, this dude exists, or oh yeah, this person exists.
But do you feel like you want your whole life to be content?
No, not me personally. So I'm pretty like, I think what you're describing is like just a comics mindset.
Right.
I think comedians especially, they just have that strong, like, I just want to entertain.
Right.
You know, I just want to offer something that's funny.
Right.
And if it feels half-baked, I think that's when you start getting in this, like, why the fuck do I do this?
Right. Yeah, I think because there's a part of me now, I guess, like being a dad, kids, you know, traveling so much, I'm like, dude, you know, if I stopped putting all my life out on YouTube all the time, I would still have my stand-up. I still do my stand-up every night, put those products out. And it's like, yeah, maybe it's a little bit less tickets, but it's still like, you could still like live your life. Like how much shit do you need? Like, you know what I mean? Like, do you need to be the best that ever did it and worth $100 million? It's like, if that's what you want, then yeah, you got to fucking keep up this pace.
That's fair.
But if you don't, if you're like, dude, I just want to do stand-up and I don't want to miss my kids' soccer practice, then I'm like, you know.
Well, that's another clip I saw of you.
Oh yeah, when I started crying on Bert. Well, I was on fentanyl.
Fentanyl makes you sad?
Yeah, it does for me. When I mix it with my, you know, Ozempic.
Yeah. That's why you're so skinny.
Ozempic is fucking knocking motherfuckers out.
Yeah.
Did you take it?
No, hell no, dude. I have got nothing to give.
Yeah, but I don't know. All you kids microdose shit. I don't know if you
keep saying
microdose
kids
Ozempic.
like I'm 10, dude. I was a freshman and you were a senior.
Oh, that's right. We would have been in the same.
More or less. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm 5 years older than you.
Yeah.
I could still be your dad.
You think?
Some cultures, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Depends how early you're hitting that puberty, papa.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Here's the problem with stand-ups, right? So it used to be stand-ups, you know, our only platform was, you know, the 15 minutes or hour-long set we were going to get that night, where now some of the best comedy that we're doing is on the podcast. And then when you come see me do stand-up, I would have told a story or done a bit on a podcast that just came naturally in conversation and whatever. And then I try to reframe that as a stand-up bit, and the people are like, I heard that. You fucking did that. I heard that bit. I'm tired of like forcing myself to talk about something I don't really fucking care about. Look at this bullshit.
Space
Gets no
isn't
views.
real.
Nobody cares.
Look, man, we can talk offline about this, but I think I know what it is.
The thumbnails.
We can start there.
Yeah.
What the fuck are we looking at, man?
Yeah.
What is the focus here?
Yeah. I know. I know.
This looks like a 39-year-old's thumbnail, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Who's
like,
working for you? Like, do you have staff?
yeah, I got 2 people that are also 39.
Okay, let's start there. Why don't we get a young person in the mix that's like, now you can get a newer fan base that's like, oh,
Right.
man, this guy's trying.
Right. Right. Okay.
You know?
That's good. Yeah, there's a good point.
You know?
Look at that. See that? I need more shit like this.
Yeah.
Just put a filter on and put a dick in my face.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you wanted to start OnlyFans, dude. We can get you fired up right now.
Dude, because, I look at this and I'm interested. I'm like, is this a guy? Is this a girl? Is that a...
You want me. When you
I
say
want
this.
you, dude. I'm just like, I look at this person. I say, this person's for everybody.
Yeah.
This is good.
Yeah, these are good.
The views aren't.
Don't worry about the views.
Yeah? You think the views don't matter as much anymore?
I don't think so. I think the only way you're getting like millions of views per episode is you're having to put like the craziest shit.
Right.
It's just, and that goes back to that diminishing returns thing. It just gets old.
For me, it's about ticket sales. That's the barometer that matters to me in my life. If I'm selling tickets, I'm in a good place. If I'm not selling tickets, I'm like, why do the people of Kansas City hate me?
Yeah.
You know? Or New York. New York is really the only thing. New York's the thing I like truly care about, because it's home. And New York, we're doing good with tickets.
But Kansas City, not so much.
Oh my God. Kansas City, Omaha, Nebraska, even Las Vegas. I got Las Vegas at the end of the month, September 30th at the Cosmo. Nobody gives a fuck. People are like, oh, it's a last minute. People buy the last minute. I'm like, it's a 2,500 seater. We have like 10 tickets sold. So what do you think? Just 2,000 people.
Vegas is a brutal market, though.
Yeah, I know. It's tough. I know. See, that's the thing, is we all give ourselves reasons for why, if things aren't going well, why it's okay. And I get it. But it's like, there's other people that'll sell out 5 shows there, and it's like, they're just good. But
Well,
you got to
dude,
be happy with what you have,
I
right?
mean, dude, popularity also is, you can't really control it.
No.
The people choose.
You control your output, not your outcome.
Yeah. The people choose.
Yeah.
But I think, we can, listen.
look at this bullshit. Yeah, the Tesla versus Edison. Who cares?
I think there are people that care,
Yeah.
but there's probably things you could lean into that you're not really aware of because you're 39.
You know what some of these things too? You know what some of these things I'm doing too?
Huh.
I don't care. Like Tesla versus Edison, that was like my producer was like, you should do an episode on this. I'm like, I really don't care. She's like, it'll be good content.
And your producer's 39?
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to get a 25-year-old producer in there.
Yeah, I need a 25-year-old genderless kid back there that literally I don't know.
That might make you interesting.
Dude, I don't even know what's going on, but I just need you to tell me what to do.
Yeah.
That's what we need.
Yeah.
Okay.
How does your New York comedy community feel about Speshy Weshy and Ticky Wicky and
I think
Muffin
probably
butt?
they don't. I think probably they don't love it.
But do you love it?
But I love it. See, that's the thing.
Yeah.
I think ultimately the only sin you can create in comedy, because it's all subjective. Whether I think it's funny is fucking irrelevant. Okay,
Yeah.
It's like if the person's fans think they're funny, then guess what? They're funny. Everything. The only sin you can commit is stealing someone's material. As long as you're not stealing anybody's material, fine.
Yeah.
You want to make a hack premise joke about airline food? Do it.
Yeah.
As long as it's your own original idea.
Yeah.
That's all. So for me, I'm like, I don't know.
Wickies is fine.
Ticky Wickies is fine. Never heard anybody else say it. Speshy Weshy. I couldn't think of a name for that special, so I literally asked my 2-year-old what she thought. She said Speshy Weshy. I said, call Netflix. And they were like, are you serious? I said, dude, I don't give a fuck. Pull the trigger.